all of Andrew's scenes could get cut. Who knows? It's Hollywood, baby.
Who the hell are you to say all of Andrew's scenes could get cut? Like, who are you?
So your character, Jonathan, is new. How does he fit into the story?
This is not like the traditional Prince Charming and
Tell
tights.
by the hair.
Yeah, the hair,
right.
he's kind of scruffy.
Rachel Zegler didn't saunter into Hollywood. She smashed its gem-encrusted doors and ruby stilettos wielding a mission statement longer than the end credits of a Marvel epic. She vowed to liberate the classic princess from outdated.
Hardcore.
They're petrified of some kind of backlash.
Broke out with this news, and I'm very, very, very excited and looking forward.
Patriarchal tropes recolor the kingdom with vibrant empowerment and still tuck $1 billion Disney dollars into the studio vault by lunchtime. Instead, she allegedly demolished the very castle she was hired to protect the live action. Snow White didn't. Just stumble on a trailing ball gown hem. It face-dived off a $1 billion cliff, spilling red ink across quarterly reports and torching every bridge between Burbank and Main Street.
Last week was a very big week, objectively a huge week. We had quite a few announcements. It's the first live-action film, which is Snow White and the Evil Queen. And that's me, I'm Snow White, which is so fun.
Part of the first, fairy tale ever told.
USA critics dubbed it the Generation Z upheaval. No one requested. Disney called it synergy, bloggers labeled it a ticking bomb. Audiences simply went elsewhere. The studio's marketing line, "This is not the story you know,"
Pretending like Rachel Zegler is the first of them all when she looks like Lord Farquaad in the film.
proved prophetic. It certainly wasn't. And the fallout became the grimmest fairy tale lesson in modern cinema. Opening weekend should have been a celebration of synergy and nostalgia. Instead, domestic receipts crawled into the low 40s. Global tallies wheezed under 200.
I sat through the whole thing. This was really bad. It was extremely leftist on every political dimension: racial politics, sexual politics, class politics, regime politics. Its narrative was cowardly. It was just off.
There's a big focus on her love story with a guy who literally stalks her. Weird.
And by the third Friday, the film toppled beneath a micro-budget slasher. No one outside Reddit had heard of. Insiders later admitted the break even bloated by strike delays, and VFX overages sat north of 500 million ticket stubs were scarce excuses plentiful.
And you know the saying, go woke, get broke, and Disney's gonna lose money on this movie, and I believe it only made less than $1 million.
Tie-in fast food promotions vanished after toys lay untouched in cafeteria trays. Box office analytics flagged merchandise revenue. Underperforming Moana by 60+% plans for a prestige. Disney Plus rollout morphed into a late-night digital dump, whispered around the lot as the burial outside the U.S. Leicester Square slashed showings in half by midweek.
It's got extra musical numbers that are incredibly unnecessary that really add to that runtime. And let me go ahead and let you know that they're absolutely f***ing atrocious.
China grudgingly offered a single-week engagement. Even pandemic misfires of 2021 hadn't bled so publicly. Investors stared at slides full of red and wondered if a single performer could pull an entire empire to its knees. Flashback to July 2023, Beverly Hilton Ballroom ring lights caramel.
Oh my God. Queen, playing the evil queen. It was pretty amazing.
Latte Zegler radiant in couture that looked more breastplate than gown. Fielded soft questions until she didn't ask if modern audiences still needed Prince Charming. She leaned in and dropped a cultural bomb. The prince was literally a creepy. Stalker 14 syllables. One trending catastrophe reporters dashed to social feeds within hours. TikTok loops remixed her soundbite to dubstep doing
catastrophically. They spent $300 million and it currently has a 2.2 out of 10 rating on IMDb.
The movie has a major identity crisis.
Not My Snow White dominated the charts for days. Family bloggers canceled sponsored unboxings. School librarians debated the tie-in picture book, and Good Morning America devoted a 7-minute panel to ask if fairy tale deconstruction had jumped the shark.
They spent $170 million to make the thing, and it had the lowest opening, under $50 million, of any of these live action Disney remakes that they've ever had.
Have they ever thought about maybe like a little bit of vulnerability study, opposition research, that sort of thing before you go and hire some Zoomer who's a lunatic?
Nobody wants a movie about true love? What kind of woman do we want out there seeking true love, Eliana? It's the outrage.
Zegler doubled down, tweeting that kids deserved heroes who saved themselves admirable on paper, fatal at the box office lifestyle vloggers scrubbed set visit videos, while a book star shredded the novelization live on stream, the phrase creepy stalker. Prince entered fanfic lexicons as shorthand for any male lead deemed problematic. Disney shareholders don't cash ideological IOUs. They cash ticket stubs. None were coming while the internet throttled itself. A scalpel carved the script crew members. Protected by NDAs thicker than a castle wall, say Zegler leveraged the uproar to justify a narrative overhaul. Whole dialogue runs for Andrew Burnap vanished. A soaring duet became a solo hymn to self-actualization stage directions, reading Prince. Neil's pledging undying love morphed into Prince exits. Irrelevant table reads turned tense veteran actors used to collaboration recited dawn pages that were shredded by noon. A dialect coach quit citing directional whiplash VFX crews begged for. Stability instead. They got new orders extend the final battle so Snow could leap off a cliff catching her reflection in a glass shard before landing superhero pose. Render times ballooned 800 hours. Animation leads slept on office floors and budgets. Bulged like poisoned apples left in the sun. February 2024 dawn drizzle on the forest backlot. Burnap exhausted, confronted Zegler in a corridor barely wide enough for two egos. Voices ricocheted from hushed pleas to volcanic roars. A wardrobe rack. Toppled lighting rigs shivered. Someone pressed record its Hollywood reflex by mid-afternoon. A grainy hallway clip hit gossip feeds. Burnap storming out Zegler's mascara streaked like war paint. HR drafted NDAs tighter than a corset, but the secret was out. The prince and princess despised each other, and audiences could smell the frost on screen. Damage control became the unofficial fifth shooting unit. Publicists tested endless statements against sentiment dashboards glowing amber extras. Donned hidden Team Andrew or Team Rachel badges under capes like medieval house sigils. Craft services split orders into rival lines. Even the production accountant joked about invoicing conflict therapy inside Disney's glass-walled marketing bunker. Whiteboards mutated into fever. Dream spider charts. Red yarn snaked between words like Empower Modern and a frantic circled. Save Q2 trailers were emergency sliced. Every lingering glance between Snow and the prince scrubbed, replaced by slow motion. Sword spins and hashtag ready onliners. Romance out boss mode and merch teams followed orders at warp speed. Twin pack dolls, Snow and Charming hand in hand, vanished overnight, leaving lonely action figures of Snow brandishing a dagger longer than her forearm. The ump gamble backfired spectacularly. Legacy blue and yellow Snow figurines from 2019 outsold the Crimson redesign 3-1 on Amazon's movers and shakers list. One analyst dubbed it the nostalgia revolt. In plastic panic rippled to the parks, character attendants quietly unpacked the classic 1937 gown from storage pressing. Pleats while managers rehearsed the official line guest request. New era Snow with short hair and battle pauldrons retreated to backstage exile, available only at fringe meet and greets, scheduled during afternoon parades when crowds were thin creative. Brainstorms turned desperate. A Fortnite crossover skin featuring armored Snow dual-wielding pickaxes asked after teen focus groups burst out laughing and asked, "Is this satire?" A limited edition sneaker collab died on the vine after sneaker. Head forums mocked the concept. Art looks like a poisoned Air Force One. Consumer insight dashboards bled bad news. A fresh survey of 5,000 parents once primed for opening weekend outings revealed 59% now preferred family movie night at home, citing unappealing changes and online drama streaming rivals, smelling opportunity peppered social feeds with free trial codes, time to Snow White's second Friday PR, scrambled for celebrity cavalry management, pitched talking point packets to A-listers. Known for feminist branding silence, one platinum pop star finally tweeted, "Can't wait to see bold Snow White." In 57 minutes, the ratio hit DEFCON 1. Her mentions flooding with snake emojis, and read the room. Her publicist yanked the tweet and issued a midnight apology thread that ironically trended higher than any official trailer. Then the guerrilla marketing war began. Anonymous ex-fans crowdfunded rogue billboards along Sunset and Fairfax, black background Gothic font. Let Snow sleep center image an open glass coffin. Petals scattered ticket stubs burning to ash. Local news vans filmed influencers snapping. Selfies in front of the morbid tableau hashtags. Snow and mock fairy tale fail splashed across TikTok inside headquarters. A junior brand strategist whispered, what no executive dared, "We're not selling a movie anymore. We're fighting a meme and memes. Move faster than any mouse, no matter how magic the kingdom." 14 days after Snow White Free fell off the marquee, Disney convened a hush. Hush Zoom war room tense faces looked ghostlit in laptop glare, while a single slide headline screamed, "Contain." The contagion. The first casualty was the $250 million Tangled remake marketing decks were yanked mid-print, set struck, while paint was still wet, and the studio memo used the bland euphemism, indefinitely rescheduled. Everyone on the project knew the translation. Pack your desk props and polish the LinkedIn headline departments were ordered to redirect concepts into bite-sized Disney Plus shorts. A Pivot insiders dubbed storyboard severance texture artists who'd spent 18 months perfecting Rapunzel's 70 FT. Hairstrand Physics suddenly found themselves mocking up looping GIFs for a 5-minute mobile exclusive one-lead matte painter tweeted, then deleted, from iMac streams to smartphone screens in a single email. Meanwhile, the moneymen slapped on handcuffs completion bond insurers spooked by Snow White's implosion unveiled a brand new surcharge dubbed Zed Risk. Any production starring Rachel Zegler, or an actor with a documented habit of online grenade throwing, would now face a multi-million-dollar escrow buffer to cover potential backlash at the next quarterly earnings. Call analysts parroted the phrase as though it had always existed. What's your Zed risk mitigation strategy? The term went viral faster than a headline typo, and Variety splashed it across a glossy cover under the banner Hollywood's New Anxiety Index. Competitors pounced like wolves, scenting wounded prey. Netflix executives mailed Disney a cheeky fruit basket shaped like the poisoned apple. One calculated bite missing Universal smelling blood, fast-tracked its own classic princess reboot, and snapped up every VFX house Snow White had overworked and underpaid. Within weeks, those studios were humming with fresh cash and zero drama. NDA's The academic world followed suit, film school professors rewrote syllabi in real time slotting Snow White 2024 into week 1, as case study a brand subversion and audience alienation lecture notes, dissected everything from trailer tone shifts to tweet storms, while students ran sentiment analysis code to chart the exact hour public opinion flipped. From wary curiosity to open revolt internally, Disney's creative halls felt like a castle after a dragon attack, scorched tapestries. Wary courtiers. Greenlight committees now included a new seat, labeled Franchise Integrity Officer, tasked with asking a single chilling question: could this spark another Snow White? If the answer wasn't an immediate, unequivocal no, the project returned to the vault with a thud, loud enough to echo down forever. The curtain hadn't even fallen before the internet drew battle lines sharper than the evil queen's cheekbones. Twitter threads unspooled like medieval scrolls illuminated with emoji punctuated by all caps. War cries traditionalists wailed that Disney had stabbed nostalgia in the heart, then danced. On the grave in Doc Martens, revisionists countered that a self-rescuing princess was long overdue, crowning Zegler the Joan of Arc of Gen Z cinema. Both camps hurled quote tweets like flaming arrows reactionary. YouTubers cranked out hour-long rants. With thumbnails screaming disaster in nuclear yellow impact font, their playlists became infinite doom loops, each ad break padded with discount VPN codes and rage shill merch. Across the aisle, progressive bloggers penned think pieces insisting the outrage was just misogyny repackaged because apparently you can judge an entire fan base from a single Rotten Tomato score. Yet while the extremes screamed the silent middle cast the only vote that matters in Hollywood, they stayed home multiplex. Lobbies echoed like cursed castles on a Tuesday matinee. Analysts coined a term for the phenomenon. The Apple Rift charts showed 2 spikes of noise and 1 vast valley of apathy. Depress ancillary sales through FY 2028. Bullet 12. Even grimmer institute mandatory social media blackout clauses for lead talent violations, trigger automatic clawbacks, wags privately, call it the Rachel rule, new committees sprout overnight. The freshly minted Lore Guardian Council wields veto power over any rewrite that dilutes canonical archetypes. Consumer insights teams receive bigger budgets than some animation units tasked with pre-screening every empowerment tweak against mom and dad sentiment. Indices legal drafts, continuity, integrity riders, obligating stars to promotional talking points down to adjective choice. Creativity hasn't vanished. Insiders joke. It just now clocks in, wearing ankle monitors. Meanwhile, finance hammers. Through the numbers, no spin doctor can soften insurance premiums on all IP remakes climb. 8% a penalty labeled audience alienation risk merchandising projects. A $500 million shortfall over 5 years. Theme park Imagineers scrap radical ride overlays. And pivot to faithful nostalgia refurbishments. Even the Disney Plus algorithm gets new guardrails. It will no longer auto-recommend experimental reboots to viewers flagged as classic preferring households. As the meeting adjourns, one junior analyst captures the mood in a single tweet: Disney just swapped pixie dust for procedural checklists. In other words, welcome to the era where magic still happens, provided it passes committee, clears compliance, and doesn't dare clap back on Twitter. Rachel. Zegler marched into Tinseltown, waving hashtags like battle standards, determined to smash glass ceilings and rewrite bedtime stories in her own electric dialect. Instead, she allegedly smashed the mirror reflecting the most valuable family brand. On Earth, she pushed princes off pedestals, traded tender duets for lecture circuits, and